The number of imported electric vehicles newly registered in the country fell 40% year on year over the August-September period amid the public's lingering concerns over their safety.
전기차의 안전성에 대한 대중의 우려가 지속되면서 지난 8월과 9월에 국내 신규 등록된 수입 전기차가 지난해 같은 기간보다 40% 감소한 것으로 나타났습니다. Tell us more.
Well, this is the first time since 2021 that the two-month tally has been below 10,000. According to data compiled by the Korea Automobile Importers and Distributors Association, just over 6,800 imported EVs were registered in Korea over the August to September period. And that's, as we mentioned in the headline, 40% lower than last year. Last year was almost 11,500 during that time.
Wow.
And a big reason for this, as the headline also mentions, is growing safety concerns. And I think probably most people remember the big fire that an EV caused in a underground apartment parking garage in Incheon, where 100 vehicles were damaged and the parking lot was severely damaged as well. That incident has also prompted some parking lots to fully or partially ban EVs.
Interesting. 이 수입 전기차가 신규 등록된 대수가요. 올 8월과 9월에 6,800대 정도였다고 하는데 작년 같은 기간에는 11,400대였습니다. 작년이 훨씬 더 많았고요. 지금 줄어든 추세죠. 자, 첫 번째 표현 보겠습니다. Newly registered.
If you register for something, a lot of times it's signing up. You register for a class, so you enter your information, usually like your name and your phone number and all that stuff into some official list or some official record. So same with cars. You need to register your car, who owns it, what the car is, so then the government knows who has cars and which cars are on the roads.
Yeah, when you get married, you have to get registered as well.
Exactly,
and,
right.
Yeah, anything where you, as you said, where you
Officially, it's official.
officially put your name down and say, we've done this.
Yes, add me to the list.
자, register라는 게 이제 공식적으로 등록한다라는 뜻이 있고 앞에 newly가 붙었으니까 신규 등록된 이런 뜻이겠죠. What about lingering?
When something lingers, it lasts for a long time. It continues longer than maybe it should.
계속 남아있는 이게 잔향이 될 수도 있고요. 어떤 생각이 될 수도 있고 여기서는 lingering concerns니까 우려가 계속 남아있다라는 뜻이 되겠네요.
Yeah, they're continuing and maybe even a bit longer than we would think, but it's still there. There's some reason. Sometimes someone will get sick. Maybe you get a cold or something like that. You're pretty much recovered, but there might be some lingering effects, like you still have a cough, even though everything else is fine, but your cough persists for a couple extra weeks maybe.
Yeah, it goes on for a little longer than it should.
Right. Some people had lingering effects from COVID. Long COVID was something people, like that's the term.
That's right. Well, here's the headline again. The number of imported electric vehicles newly registered in the country fell 40% year on year over the August to September period amid the public's lingering concerns over their safety. Now, here's our next headline.
Global rivers experienced their driest year in over 3 decades in 2023, according to a new report by the World Meteorological Organization, highlighting critical shifts in water availability amid rising demand.
2023년은 최근 30년 만에 가장 빠르게 담수가 마른 건조한 해였으며 이는 세계가 물 공급이 부족할 위험에 처했음을 나타낸다는 세계기상기구 보고서가 나왔습니다. Alright, let's talk about the driest year yet, or I suppose in the last 3 decades.
Well, according to the State of Global Water Resources report, the last 5 consecutive years have recorded widespread below normal conditions for river flows, with reservoir inflows following a similar pattern. So this reduces the amount of water available for communities, for agriculture, ecosystems, and this further stresses global water supplies. Another thing that the report mentioned was glaciers suffered their largest mass loss ever registered in the last 5 decades. This was in 2023. And it was the second consecutive year in which all regions in the world with glaciers reported ice loss.
Right, and yet, because you'd think, if the ice melted, we would have more water overall, but that's just not how it works. Let's have a look at highlighting something.
Think about like if you have a highlighter. Wait, what do you call it? A highlighter? The pen, the marker.
형광펜 in
right.
Korean,
So
yeah.
that emphasizes something. If
Yeah.
you highlight something in a book, it'll draw your attention to that because you want to remember it. So when we use it this way, it means adds emphasis or draws your attention to something important or significant.
네. 그 형광펜을 영어로는 하이라이터라고 하는데요. 이 형광펜으로 이렇게 쫙 밑줄 그으면은 굉장히 중요하다라는 걸로 이제 생각하게 되는 거죠. 그래서 강조하다의 의미가 있습니다. To highlight, to stress 이런 거랑 비슷해요. 자, 그다음에 availability.
Something with availability is easy to get or something to access or to purchase. It's available. Even a person, right? Like you might call somebody and sorry, they're not available. You can't talk to them.
Exactly. Being available can also mean that you're available to date
You're single,
someone. Yeah,
right?
yeah. Available이라는 것은 쓸 수 있다, 뭔가 이제 가능하다 이런 뜻이 있잖아요. 사람한테 썼을 때는 시간이 있다가 될 수도 있고 아니면은 누구를 만날 수 있는 싱글인 그런 상태다 이런 의미가 될 수도 있습니다. 자, 여기서는 availability of water 물이 얼마나 우리가 이용할 수 있는지 그렇게 해석할 수 있겠네요.
A lot of times you might ask someone what's their availability on a certain day. At work, maybe you want to have a meeting with them. What's your availability on Wednesday? Something,
so
for example.
That means, do you have time on
Right,
Wednesday?
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Or when do you have time?
Exactly. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. Global rivers experienced their driest year in over 3 decades in 2023, according to a new report by the World Meteorological Organization, highlighting critical shifts in water availability amid rising demand. Now let's move on to the final headline.
A new study finds that different arm positions during blood pressure measurement, including resting on a surface, lap, or hanging, can significantly affect systolic pressure.
혈압 측정 시 팔을 책상 등 지지대 위에 올려놨을 때와 무릎 위에 올려놨을 때, 또 옆구리를 따라 축 늘어뜨렸을 때 등 팔의 위치에 따라 수축기 혈압이 크게 차이가 날 수 있다는 연구 결과가 발표됐습니다. Alright, tell us more.
So I guess we need to talk about blood pressure measurement in the first place. You always get two numbers.
Yeah.
So less than 120 over 80 is normal. So the first number, the 120, that's called systolic or systolic pressure. That refers to the amount of pressure in a person's arteries when the heart sends blood through the body. The lower number is called diastolic pressure. That's the bottom number. It's the pressure in the arteries between heartbeats. I had to look all this up. I'm definitely no expert on this type of thing. Now, what the researchers found is that when a person's arm hangs by their side during the reading, the upper number, the systolic pressure, was 6.5 points higher than when their arms were resting on a desk. And also the lower number was also higher as well. The diastolic pressure was 4.4 points higher. So why is this significant? Because these differences can lead to incorrect diagnoses of hypertension, and people can be prescribed medications that they don't need. If it's, oh yeah, you have high blood pressure, take all this medication when you don't actually need it. And, a lot of countries in the world are really quick to prescribe medication. And someone who was to receive blood pressure lowering medication that they don't need could actually have some bad side effects like lightheadedness, dizziness, fatigue, blurry vision. So it's quite important. So what they're saying is the correct arm position is resting on a surface, like on a desk.
Yeah, that's why the machines, I don't know if you've seen
Yeah.
those machines.
Oh, yeah, I've done those.
Yeah, they're all across the
Sure.
country in many different hospitals in Korea. They make sure that you're in a particular position where your arm is rested.
And I read your arm is supposed to be at heart level or something as well. That's what
maybe.
it said. So
Yeah.
usually those machines, depending on how big you are, that's pretty much where you'd be at.
Yeah, exactly. And it says, I think it says like, don't talk while you're doing this. Make sure you're relaxed and calm, something like that. So I guess everything affects
Sure.
your heartbeat.
Right,
And you
exactly.
don't want to be diagnosed with something that you're not.
With
you know, if you-
hypertension, and then all of a sudden you're getting, and that just means high blood pressure.
Right. 그래요. 이제 고혈압, 저혈압 이런 게 이제 잘못 진단이 나오면은 그에 따른 약 처방도 잘못 나올 수가 있으니까 정말 정확하게 재는 게 중요하겠죠. 그럴 때 이제 제일 좋은 거는 우리 그 혈압기에 우리가 보통 취하는 그 자세가 제일 좋다고 합니다. 자, blood pressure measurement 볼까요?
Yeah, so as we just mentioned, it's the blood pressure is the test that measures the force or the
Yep.
pressure in your arteries, your blood vessels, as your heart pumps.
Yes. 자, 그래서 blood pressure 이게 혈압이고요. measurement는 측정이니까 blood pressure measurement 혈압 측정이 되겠습니다. You mentioned high blood pressure, which is hypertension. Do we know what low blood pressure is called? Is there a word for
There
that?
probably is, but I don't know what it is.
Actually, I have it right now.
what
I'm
is it?
looking it up as I speak. It's hypotension with an O.
Hypotension.
Yeah, they sound really similar.
Right, right.
But one is hypertension, that's high blood pressure, and then you have hypotension, which is low blood pressure.
Yeah, I was told that I have slightly low blood pressure before.
Really?
Yeah.
아, 그래요. 고혈압, 저혈압. 그냥 이제 쉽게는 high blood pressure, low blood pressure. 조금 더 전문 용어로 쓰자면 hypertension, hypotension. 자, 다음으로 significantly affect 보겠습니다.
Significantly affect would mean to greatly influence something. So this could cause a major change or make a big difference. And as we read, the arm position can make a big difference
Yeah.
and can lead to incorrect diagnoses. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
significantly는 굉장히 많이라는 의미가 있어요. 그래서 affect가 붙었기 때문에 많은 영향을 미친다, 큰 영향을 미친다라고 보면 되겠습니다.
Does caffeine greatly affect your sleep?
It does now.
Okay.
It didn't in my 20s.
Oh, really?
And I think 30s too, but I guess so because I can't sleep.
Yeah, it greatly affects mine. But like, I don't know. I've always noticed like a lot of Koreans will drink coffee at night. My wife will
Yeah.
drink coffee at night. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
I have to cut caffeine off by like the latest I'll drink caffeine is usually 4 p.m.
Yeah.
And it's even better. Like I'll try to make it even earlier, 2 or
Yeah.
3.
I guess some people are just so exhausted that no amount of caffeine can keep them awake.
I guess. But they say it does affect the quality of your sleep.
Good point. All right, here's the headline again. A new study finds that different arm positions during blood pressure measurement, including resting on a surface, lap, or hanging, can significantly affect systolic pressure. Well, that's it for our headlines with Ray.